Good evening. It is Thursday. This is One Life to Play. I am your host, Larry Brass.
And I'm P90.
And we are here with another great episode of One Life to Play Live. First off, check it. You can find us everywhere on the internet. That's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, on your right arm tattoo. I don't know. Where else can they find us, P90?
You can find us on Steam. You
Okay.
can find us on, you already said YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube.
Google search it, MSN, Bing it.
Bing it. I'm using Yahoo lately.
Yahoo.
I don't know. Somehow I changed my iPhone to where my search engine now is Yahoo. I don't like it. I got to change that back. I got to figure out the way. But bam, forget about all that. There's Picasso. He said, "Who's the midget behind me?" That's our producer with the wrong camera up. He's got our cam 2 up right now. You got to turn that one off because now it looks like there's a midget standing behind me if I go this way, like, hello.
Hey, where'd that guy come from?
All right, Picasso, what's happening? But today we have a pretty amazing show to give you guys. We have a great developer and icon in the gaming industry on tonight, and that's American McGee. We'll get to talk to him about his latest Kickstarter project, which was funded just a few days ago. So I know he's really excited about that and really excited to talk to us about it, and share with you guys the details behind Alice Otherlands, which I think is going to be really amazing.
Yeah,
when we get to see it. But also we got our regular gaming talk that we're going to give you guys, and just maybe, I know you guys are wishing for it every week. We might get into some gaming. We might do it. I know the Browns are playing tonight, so I don't know. I might need to go watch that.
That counts as a game, right?
Yeah, that does count as a game. But we'll get into what we have been gaming and what we will be gaming in the near future and around the room. But first off, let's just go ahead and get to American McGee. Let's get him on the line here. On our Skype line. Did we ever name the line? I don't think we named it.
I thought it's the One Life to Play line.
It's the One Life to Play line, the game line. The game line. All right, American, how's it going?
Hey guys, it's going all right. How you doing?
Can you hear us okay? Okay. We're just making sure we can hear you. All right, so you're out in Shanghai having a good time. And you recently started and completed, fully successfully funded a Kickstarter project in Alice Otherlands. It's a pleasure to have you on. Why don't you go ahead and start and tell us a little bit about Alice Otherlands?
So Alice Otherlands was a little unusual because it's actually not a game Kickstarter. It was for a series of short animations that would allow us to acquire the film rights to the Alice IP. So EA owns the game rights, obviously, but some years ago they sold off the film rights, and these guys in Hollywood have just been sitting on those for a while. They recently came to me and said that I had a chance to buy those rights, and so this Kickstarter was geared towards putting me in a position to buy those rights and then make some animations to give to the audience that helped us to do that.
So, I mean, that's a really good idea. Can you go into some detail? I know we know, but I want to share it with some of our viewers. What were those details behind EA actually having those rights? I mean, we love the fact that you made the game. I mean, it was always American McGee's Alice that we remember. What gave EA so much in that to just sell those off?
Well, keep in mind that when I created Alice, I was working at EA. I was an employee of EA, so this was like 15 years ago, 1999, 1998, I was living in San Francisco working at EA, and that's when I came up with the idea of Alice. And so as an employee of EA, when you come up with an idea, they automatically own it. What was unusual about Alice was that while we were developing the game, these guys from Hollywood came up and said, hey, we're really interested in turning this game into a film, even though the game wasn't released yet. And so I think EA, not really knowing what they had, kind of figured, hey, a bird in hand, if we're getting an offer from somebody to buy this thing as a film, we'll do it, we'll do the deal today. And so they sold off the film rights before the game was even launched. And so we ended up in a situation where EA owns the game rights, and these guys, these Hollywood producers, own the film rights. And like I said, they sat on those film rights for the last 10 plus years. And just recently came and asked if I wanted to have a chance at owning them and trying to do something with them.
No, I mean, we're happy you got a hold of it. I mean,
that's a blessing there.
Like I said, we played Alice, and we played Alice Madness Returns. We like your imaginative state of Alice as a character from a story we grew up with. And I'm sure you grew up with Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass and reading the books, C.S. Lewis and whatnot. What drives your fondness for Alice? Like, how do you so focus on Alice?
Well, you know, there's a lot of different stories that I like that aren't just fairy tales. You know, Alice is one of them, but I think you know, my general appreciation for fairy tales comes out of the fact that we all know these stories, and we know these stories everywhere in the world that you might go. So, you know, things like Alice in Wonderland or The Wizard of Oz, those are known globally. If you look at a fairy tale like Little Red Riding Hood, that's a story that's so old that it goes back to a time before people actually wrote things down. So it's an oral tradition, and it's something that people everywhere in the world recognize, the story of Red Riding Hood. So these stories kind of go to the heart of the human condition. They do a really good job of getting us involved in whatever the product is. If it's a game or it's a film or it's a book that we're reading, globally we recognize it, and we you know, we have a passion for it, and that's what makes me excited about working with them, because I can talk to a global audience with these stories.
Right. I love everything I hear about it, because for me it's like, I gotta ask you, do you watch like the TV show Once Upon a Time?
You know, I don't watch a lot of American TV because, well, being in China, we don't just turn on the television and we'll find like Chinese television, right?
You don't. So what's your show? What's your favorite show out there in China?
Well, so we do watch TV, but we have to buy the DVD sets once they're released. So then that makes you pretty particular about what you're going to watch, right? And we're really into like Game of Thrones and the Sherlock series, Walking Dead, you know, things like that. But it has to be something that's got a lot of notice before I'll go and spend the money to buy the DVD set, because you just don't know what you're getting, right? You don't want to just buy a TV show.
People would hate me if I didn't ask. Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I love Breaking Bad. It's a great show.
Okay. It still makes you a true American.
Well, it's funny because, you know, what really resonates and works in the U.S. also works here in China. So the way to know whether or not something is worth watching is to find out if all the Chinese people are watching it. If they're watching it, then you know it's really good, right? So they love all the same stuff that we love. So Breaking Bad is huge here. Game of Thrones is huge here. Sherlock is huge here. You know, they even go to the extent that they put stickers all over their cars. So you'll be driving down the freeway and you'll see people have covered their cars in like Transformers stickers, Breaking Bad stickers, How I Met Your Mother stickers. It's really bizarre. But when they love a TV show, they really love a TV show.
Wow, that's that's kind of weird to see. I mean, just Breaking Bad. Maybe I should plaster my car with some Breaking Bad.
I think it's expression.
Yeah, that works. That works. So, do you think you stated like if you know they're watching it in China, then everybody will watch it. Do you think the same applies to video games?
Well, yeah, it's the same here with the games. You know, I mean, when you've got a really popular game in the U.S., you'll find it in the shops here. Of course, here it's illegal to sell 360 or a PS3 legitimately, so everything that's here for the consoles is black market, but that doesn't stop it from having a black market. I mean, they're everywhere. And at the same time, you know, these stores here, they only want to stock what's really popular, what's really going to sell. So again, you walk into a game store here and it's sort of like the top 10, you know, of whatever's selling best in the U.S., what people are most excited about in the U.S.
Yeah, okay, I can imagine that. So going back to Alice Otherlands a bit, you just recently funded the Kickstarter project. What are your next steps?
So we've already started talking to the animators who are going to make the small short animations that are going to be a part of the Otherlands DVD. So 2014 Christmas, we're going to launch this DVD that's got all these animations on it. And then meanwhile, like next week, I'm traveling up to Beijing to meet with a film director and financiers to talk about making the live-action Alice feature film. Actually, that would be a trilogy of films. And so there's conversations going on between China and Hollywood about how we're going to get the money in place and how we're going to make that movie, or that series of movies. So these two things are going on simultaneously. The animation project, a number of different directors, that's going to launch in a DVD next year, and then the feature film development, which is going on as we speak.
Cool, cool, awesome.
So American, us as gamers and gamers everywhere will want to know what brought you to the decision to work on an animation, or so to speak, versus a game or game basically, or interactive. What would you like? Pop it in the DVD player?
Yeah, like an interactive experience.
Interactive experience, like. Would that be also something you could consider working on or including?
Well, you know, I'm still talking with EA about doing another Alice game, but you have to keep in mind they control the rights to the Alice interactive portion, right? And so it's up to them whether or not another Alice game gets made. But I am talking with them, and we're trying to figure out how we can make that happen. Meanwhile, I mean, in my studio, we're not doing any of the animation work. Our company here in Shanghai is 100% focused on making games. So we're running 3 live online games right now. We have a 4th game in development that's going to launch later this year, and we have more games that we're working on designing and developing next year as well. So this animation project and the film project, they're really, the only involvement is me just trying to run around like a producer and get the money in place and get the people in place. But we don't have any direct involvement in making that stuff.
Yeah, it's a step up though. I mean, you're going from developer to producer. So there you go. And even if it's on the other side, it's still entertaining us. We love to see Alice. And maybe these talks, I'm over here crossing my fingers. The game could be based on the Outlands, you know, feature film. I would love to see something like that. So we have been looking over the Kickstarter ourselves, and there. By the way, you guys out there, you viewers. You guys watching on YouTube, there's still continuation backing for this project that's going on through PayPal, correct, American?
Yeah, if they go to the Kickstarter page, then the first thing they'll see is a link to the PayPal site where they can go and continue to get access to the rewards that we were offering during the main campaign, and be involved with the animations and DVDs.
And I think that's a great opportunity. Like, there's not a lot of Kickstarters that still offer the same rewards even after a project's been funded. So, I mean, kudos to you for offering that. And if you guys want to get involved and you know, get some awesome items from Spicy Horse and the folks over there that's involved with Alice Otherlands, get on Kickstarter, get over to that PayPal site, and go ahead and donate to that project. Now, you recently, I guess about a week ago, got some really good news about who's going to be on your team for this production of these shorts. His name still eludes me. Is Sue Hark?
Yeah. So in China, his name in Mandarin is Shu Ke, which might be a little bit easier for people to say. Actually, I struggle with the Cantonese as well, but I think it's Sui Hark. So he's committed to helping the project happen, but he hasn't really committed to exactly, you know, if that's going to be him as a producer or him as a director. He's a very, very well-known writer, producer, director, and even an actor here in China. He's one of the most famous and prolific guys in the film industry here. Actually, that's who I'm going to meet with in Beijing next week and talk about how we're going to get funding together for this project. So yeah, it's very exciting to have him come on board. You know, we've got him, plus there's been a ton of other announcements in terms of voice actors, musicians, animators, and then a lot of stuff I haven't announced yet with regards to potential writers and directors in the U.S. So there's a lot of interest from some very interesting people around the entire project.
Cool. Any exclusives we can get beforehand? Any exclusive writers we can get beforehand? Any news you might want to drop or share with our viewers here on the show?
You know, I couldn't hear what you said there. Could you repeat that?
Oh, I was wondering if there's any exclusive, any news that you can drop for our viewers here on One Life to Play.
You know, I'd love to do that, but that's a lot of the stuff that we're doing right now is still very kind of sensitive. Until we sign the deals up, I can't really talk about it.
Okay, we'll be on the lookout for it. Getting into depths with Otherlands here. I believe our producer LEM has some images here, but you're talking about Alice entering other minds, other people. I guess of this era of the 1870s. Tell us a little bit more about that. How is Alice using these powers, and what is she out to accomplish here?
So this is the third part of a trilogy. The first game saw Alice overcoming the psychological barriers inside of her own mind to sort of realize her potential and escape from an asylum. The second game saw Alice mastering more of the physical domain. She used her Wonderland powers in order to overcome a real-world bad guy and solve the mystery of who had murdered her parents. In the third game, she's going even further. She's actually trying to protect the people around her and the society around her in general. And she's melding together her mastery of Wonderland, the psychological and the physical, so that she can jump into the minds of other people. And so if you saw something like Inception, it might give you an idea of Alice being able to go into the mind of a young Jack the Ripper and mess with his brain so that he ends up going off and murdering people. So from our perspective, perhaps Jack the Ripper looks like he was a bad guy and he was murdering people without cause. But inside the perspective of the game, we might find out that the people that Jack murdered, if they hadn't have been murdered, might have led lives that ended up destroying the world, right? So that's the kind of approach we're going to take, is that she's messing with people's minds in order to shape and drive society and people towards certain goals that have to do with essentially saving all of us, right? Saving all people.
Oh, nice. That sounds like a nice world to be a part of.
Right, like everything has its purpose. The positive and the negative is this has to be, or nothing could exist.
Exactly. Exactly. So in the period, the time that she's living in is sort of the birthplace, the time when the Industrial Revolution was really kicking off. And so that was a time in history where, I mean, there's a lot of time in history that this is happening, where people were really being, their souls crushed and the creativity sucked out of them. And, your life, this is sort of the beginning of the era where our lives were being exchanged for money for the work that we were doing. And we started having, extremely long work days and conditions that were just awful for everyone involved. And so having her there at the beginning of this moment in time, the idea is that she might be able to deflect some of that, or she might be able to find out who's behind enslaving all of the people on the planet and try to stop that from happening.
Oh, okay. All right. That sounds like a good film to watch. I mean, now these shorts that you're creating, as you were saying in your Kickstarter video, which we'll take a look at later, it still depends on the funding that you get to release these shorts. How many are we looking at originally?
It's hard to say because we've secured enough money now to make probably 5 or 6 of them. But there's more possibilities for money and financing coming in now every day. So I'm starting to think that we may be able to even double that number depending on the sources of outside funding that we are able to access. But I know at a minimum at this point we probably can deliver 5 or 6 really high quality animations, and then everything beyond that's going to depend on how much additional funding we can pull in.
Cool. Sounds good.
So when I took a look at this is the video here. The 5 or 6 shorts. It sort of reminds me of like Animatrix.
Sure, it's a really good kind of comparison to what we want to do, because Animatrix was also multiple small short animations and then different directors and different art styles, and that's exactly what we want to try to do with Otherlands.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool. All right, so moving along a little bit, I want to get your ideas. You started off in what I consider the heydays of developing. Working at id Software or whatnot. Can you tell us a little bit about those days? How was that time coming through? The development in the '90s and getting to where we are today in gaming.
Well, it's pretty crazy for me. I don't know if you know my story, but before starting work at id, I was a car mechanic. So from when I was 18 until I was 20 years old, I was repairing German cars like Volkswagens and Audis. And I would come home covered in grease from working at the shop. And then the guy that I lived near to would come home driving a Ferrari. And that was John Carmack. He eventually offered me a job at ID. And I started off answering the phones, doing tech support. And then from there, I went on to level design and programming and a bunch of other things within the company. But yeah, I mean, it was a very interesting time. I mean, the industry was very small. Doom, Doom 2, Quake 2. Those were products that were made by teams of 8 people, 8 core developers, and there was a very close connection with the audience and a lot of sort of camaraderie. There was a proper community that existed between the audience and us as a developer. A very positive relationship there. And I think over the years, what I've seen is it's become much more corporate. It's become much more that the interface between the customer and the product is there's a publisher in the middle, and that the shelf space that the games go out to is limited. So we get a very limited amount of products and very little innovation in terms of the products that we're playing. I think just in general, the industry sort of lost a lot of the spark and the creativity and the passion that it had back then, as it's become much more of a business.
Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that. Do you not see maybe this spark reigniting with this whole movement of what they're calling, which I kind of dwell on the name indie developers, because I mean, isn't that exactly where developing these video games started? I mean, like, do you see that reigniting here in this movement that we have with mobile devices and a lot of these smaller media games?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that mobile devices, web games, online games, and things like Kickstarter, where you've got an alternate form of funding, these are all things that are bringing back to life a kind of spirit that existed 20 years ago. And I think it's probably one of the healthiest and best things that we've seen happen for our industries, in 20 years. And I also think that there are things on the horizon, like the Oculus Rift, for instance, that are really going to change the way that gamers interface with their content and also change the way that developers think about what constitutes a game, so that we're going to start to see proper innovation once again. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that these are disruptive pieces of technology. They're disruptive methods of distribution, or they're disruptive ways of getting funding for making a game. And so it's breaking apart the old model that was a monopoly controlled by the EAs and the Activisions and the THQs of the world, and all of that, sort of built around this retail distribution model. As much as we can shake that up and break apart that model, I think we're going to make our industry much more interesting and much more fun.
Right. There was actually just an article I was reading a couple of weeks ago about how the mobile gaming movement is disrupting the environment. We were just speaking with an indie developer last week, actually, on the show. I believe it was last week or maybe a couple of weeks ago. But he pretty much basically said the exact same thing about that shaking up of the market. I think that's something that needs to be paid attention to. It's no longer the hot title on console, to me, in my mind. It's not on a console. It is a PC game, or it is a mobile game that people are really on and people are really liking. So
that's the thing. A lot of times when you read the media or you read the people in the comments, they want to kind of look at it like it's console versus mobile. And I think what they're forgetting is that things that make games better on mobile will translate into things that make games better on console, and vice versa. You think all the lessons for making mobile games have come from? Well, a lot of that's come from developers who started off on console. And so that's what's made mobile games get to the level of quality that they're at so quickly. And then vice versa, as people learn more tricks about how to make mobile games more interesting, they're going to bring those lessons back to consoles, and console games are going to get better. So I don't see there as, sort of being a competition. Though I do think that the monopoly that retail creates is a bad thing. I don't think that consoles or console players or console games are necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, that's a good perspective. I like that.
It's a seesaw.
You move from game to game, from time to time. Well, I don't know. We've been playing a game that we have to write a review for, and for us, it's just like we have to start forgetting, what we've kind of been trained to look at, and it's all these graphics and all these things happen, and really get down to the gameplay of that game. But
right.
we'll get into that later. Can you join us really quick for our Around the Room segment and see what you've been playing?
Sure.
All right, let's do around the room. LEM, let's roll it. All right, folks, this is Around the Room. We are joined by American McGee, developer, just funded, so he's a happy dude over here. We're happy guys down here because myself and P90, what have we been playing this past week?
I've been playing some LOL, some League of Legends.
Just smashed it in League of Legends. I think that's it. I've been trying to finish Last of Us. I can't do it. I played like maybe 15 minutes of it, and then I queued for some League of Legends. I just had to jump into it. So American, you're out in Shanghai. Well, first off, we've been doing Around the Room. Let's start off. What consoles do you currently have out there? You yourself, what do you own?
Both a 360 and a PS3 in my house, and I use them kind of back and forth between living room and bedroom. But mostly I play games on the PS3 because that's how you get legitimate games.
That's my
in
dude.
China to get 360 games that aren't pirated.
Oh, okay. so you're more forced into that. Okay, I thought it was a choice. I thought you were with me on Sony.
No, I am on Sony, and I like Sony. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, even if I wanted to be on a 360, so the reason I like 360 is because it makes a good entertainment system in your living room, right? I can stream music through it, I can do movies through it, stuff like that. The problem is it's very hard to have a 360 in China because all the games here are pirated. So it's sort of like much easier to own a PS3, but I like the PS3 just for playing games. So that's my preferred game system. The Xbox is the preferred living room system.
Cool, sweet. So what are you currently playing on your PS3?
Last of Us also, and I'm kind of like you. I'm sort of stuck. I keep trying to move forward, and then I jump back. I don't play League of Legends. I'm very addicted to Minecraft, so I'll be playing Last of Us for a while, and then I'll hop back into Minecraft for multiple hours.
You want to share your gamer tag in some Minecraft? Maybe some of our viewers can visit your world.
Oh, I don't play Minecraft on Xbox or on the console. I play Minecraft on my laptop, on my Mac. So
moving back to PC.
Yeah.
So how do you get to your world in PC?
No, Minecraft is like
He's not even a Minecraft guy.
No, my children, they play Minecraft crazy. I play StarCraft 2.
Yeah. How do they get to you in Minecraft?
Wait, are you asking me?
Yeah. How did American can they visit your world? Have you made levels that they can visit? That anybody can visit?
Oh no, I don't play online like that. It's just for me, it's like a relaxation thing. I get the laptop, I get in bed, my girlfriend's like reading a book or something, and then I'll just sit there and like build and explore. You know, and I can spend like hours doing that. So it's it's not something I play with other people or anything like that.
So is that over Last of Us? What's your percentage in Last of Us?
How far?
You know how far you into Last of Us, American?
I think I'm about halfway in now.
Yeah, halfway. Yeah, I think I'm about 62%. I don't know, but I feel like I've been playing forever that game. I think it's on like 15 hours.
That's the thing, is it just goes on and on and on, and I don't feel like in my life I have time for stuff like that. It's kind of what's driven me away from console gaming in general, is it just feels like such a time commitment. I mean, that's the same thing that happened with me when I was playing Skyrim. You know, I think I got like 60, 70 hours into that, and then one day I stood up and I was like, this sucks, what am I doing? You know, like my whole life is going into this game. I need to get outside, and so I just turned it off. And I didn't go back in ever again.
I got that way with World of Warcraft.
Fable,
yeah.
Crackdown.
No, World of Warcraft. I got into this mode. I've been playing World of Warcraft for maybe 3 years now, and I recently stopped like 2 months ago because I'm playing and I started just like clicking the quest giver, just clicking OK, just like move it, just OK, and just move it along. Like I'm doing the same thing over and over again. It wasn't like I was going from level 1 to 80 or 90 all over again. That wasn't even a problem. For me, it was the problem. I was getting the same type of quest over. It was always the same thing. Go get some more of these. Go get some more of these. Now you gotta get some more of these. You need some more of these. Yeah, I just got tired of that.
About these.
Have you played World of Warcraft, American?
I have, but I have to kind of keep myself away from MMOs because I have been really addicted to those in the past. I used to play City of Heroes, and I knew I was really addicted one day when the house that was next door to mine burned down, and I didn't even get up and go outside to see the house that burned down. And some friends came over and they're like, "Man, this house burned down next door to you, and you didn't even leave the computer to go see this." So that was the day that I knew I needed to stop playing MMOs.
Wow, that is the day.
Wow,
that is the day. So
I've been playing some Tapped Out.
Tapped Out. Are you playing any games? Any mobile games, American?
You know, a little bit. There's this new one, Hellfire, that DNA just put out. I've been playing that because, you know, we just signed up a deal with DNA to make a mobile game with them. So they're sending us a bunch of stuff to look at and think about. So, yeah, I've been playing that quite a bit.
Yeah, your Spicy Horse. Like, what game you said you mentioned a game that we could look forward to towards the end of this year? Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. It's called The Gate. And it's set in hell, and it's basically the player. It's a CCG, it's a card collecting game.
I'm sorry, I like the first
four words. It's got a kind of Diablo-looking gameplay interface. So when you're actually fighting the cards, you're doing it in a top-down, like a 3D isometric view, where you can see the units fighting against each other, and you also have some control over them. So it looks gorgeous. It's really beautiful, and the whole story is that you're going through and you're rescuing these souls that are trapped in hell, and along the way, of course, you're collecting the demons that you're fighting against in order to do this. So yeah, it's going to come out later this year. I think it's around October of this year, and it's mobile, online, and it's cross-platform, cross-device. So yeah, start looking for some press on that. I think around September.
All right, well, it will be the first. I'm talking about it. Like I said, I like the first 4 words. The Gate, set in hell. I just like I just like the start of that. Anything set in hell, that I'm already buying it. So we appreciate you joining us, American, taking the time to talk to us and our viewers. Any last statements you want to make?
Last statements? Am I going to die soon?
No. No. I know you're a busy man, and I know it's morning over there in Shanghai. So I'm sure you probably got some other meetings and anything to get to.
I have a little bit of work to get to. But yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. And no, I don't really have anything exciting to say today. I've spent the last 2 months trying to kind of sell our Kickstarters and get people to come and check. I'm kind of tired of that stuff. So
well, you did it, man. You did it. I mean, your goal was $200,000. You got $222,000, and still going with the eBay, which you guys can head over to that Kickstarter page to find out how you can donate to that. But you did it, man. You did it. You got those rights, and you're moving along.
So I think I'm finished trying to market our stuff today. So I'll just say have a good day, and thanks for having me on.
Just go make it. Just go make it, American. You've been making it so far. Just go make it. Can we get one life to play? One life to play from you?
What are you asking for?
Just one big shout out and one life to play.
Oh, this is American McGee on One Life to Play.
We love it. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you later. I'll hit you up later.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, so folks, that was American McGee, renowned developer, designer, now film producer.
Yeah, there we go.
So yeah, there we go. So I mean, I'm loving it. He has some really good things to say, and I like it. So I mean, I appreciate him taking the time and joining us. His thoughts on the game industry now. I mean, that was great.
Yeah, it was. I like the development of mobile
Yeah,
cross-platform. It just kind of encompassed the thing and then release it on everything.
But I really like that statement. That there shouldn't be this pitting of platforms. It doesn't have to be mobile versus gaming. It just has to be just gaming. Like, does it make sense just to game on? Like, that's pretty much it. That's all you want.
Yeah.
So we did mention he told us how to say it. Do you remember how to say his first name? Sway Hart. possible producer on Alice Otherlands. He did a film back in 2010, which I'm just not getting hip to.
Yeah, this was like, I'm looking at it like, dang, what's all this about?
This is called Detective D.
Detective D.
Detective D, who our boy out there, D. You know, anyway, no, it's not you. But Detective D, Mystery of the Phantom Flame. It looks awesome. This trailer has made our video of the week, so we might as well just go ahead and throw that video of the week up here. Let's roll it. LEM.
To be China's first supreme empress, the ruler of all rulers. But someone or something will kill to stop her. Now, the ancient world's greatest detective is on the case.
That is Detective D right there.
I'm about to do some karate moves on you.
I gotta go see that. I gotta see that.
Kung Fu Ninjutsu.
I'm not gonna tell you guys how I'm gonna find it, but I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna go watch that.
Bruce Lee.
Detective D. So this guy, he also did. I do remember these movies. It was Once Upon a Time in China, and Seven Swords. I remember those two. But then there's this other, The Blade. But I guess he's a great producer.
I love the camera views and I love the moves that was happening. I would definitely watch it.
I like how they put it's funner.
The storyline's awesome. It's just already
yeah, it looks sweet. It looks sweet. So yeah. That's One Life to Play. I think we had a pretty good conversation. I think we just want to stop it there. You know, like you don't. What's the word? What's the phrase that they say? Like,
she was to be China's first supreme empress.
Go out on a high note. Let's
go out on a high note.
Should we just go out on a high note? We had a great interview with American McGee. We'll just end it at that. Yeah, we're just gonna end it at that. We're gonna call it a show. We're gonna call it a night. But we're not really gonna call it a night. We're gonna be streaming some of our Call of Duty gameplay. If you want to play with us as a Call of Duty, we might actually set up a cam. Actually, probably not. No, we won't set up a cam. What we'll do is we'll actually stream directly from our PS3 on Twitch TV. So keep watching. If you want to get in the room with us and play some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 with us, go ahead and send us a quick friend request, like in the next 10 minutes, next 10, 15 minutes. We'll pick it up as soon as we fire up our PS3.
Close out with anything in the chat room?
What we got in the chat? So this is how we end the night, and I think we should probably start this every night. We need to get a quick sounder on it. LEM, get on that. But we'll go with best quote from the chat room.
Oh, best quote from the chat room?
Best quote from the chat room. We're in with that every night. So P90, you got something over there?
Picasso said he was hoping he was going to play some Injustice, so he was going to whoop you.
Play Injustice?
That's what he said.
You guys want to see some Injustice?
And Game of Thrones was yeah, I watched all of them. Well, probably like except for like the newest ones that just came out like within what I like got the new season 3 part episode like 3 or 4.
I have not watched Game of Thrones yet.
So
I'm behind, but I'm waiting for Breaking Bad this Sunday.
He's Breaking Badding it up. What was it like? What is it?
So what's this one? What's this? What is the best quote from the? Wait. You're not even going along with this. What is the best quote from the chat tonight? You share one. I'm gonna share one.
Picasso says, "I'd be like, I should go outside and get some fresh air instead of playing Xbox." Is that what it is?
Xbox, yeah, Xbox Live.
Instead of playing Xbox Live, then I go outside and be like, "Ew, people."
I still like from Picasso is this anyway. The way we start the show. LOL. Who's the midget behind you? Even just standalone. That quote right there. I'm gonna actually start the show like that next week. Who's the midget behind you?
He right. It was like a little leprechaun him down there, right?
I give it
he had his own. He had his own mini me. We're gonna make a cut of that in the beginning. Like
just start the show like, look, who's that midget behind you? And then you probably look, right? I don't know. Maybe somebody look. Should we play Injustice or should we play Call of Duty? I mean, Picasso, are you actually on 360? Are you gonna play some Injustice with it, or you just wanted to see it? I don't know. For me,
if you wanted to play right now, then you would have to. Probably.
Do I want to shoot somebody or do I want to hit somebody? That's the question.
Both.
I know what he wants to play.
Oh, so he wants
Deadpool. He wants to play both. He wants to play League of Legends.
Oh, Picasso says he's on right now. So send a quick friend request. Go ahead, LEM, put it in the chat.
You have Injustice on Xbox?
Yeah,
I thought you had it on PlayStation 3.
No, I have it on Xbox.
Bam, there you go. Let's go.
Yeah, I have it on Xbox. Yeah, I take it around with me a lot, so I think it's actually packed up right now. But we'll grab it out and we'll play some Injustice. We just had to hook it up on our stream and get to it. We'll be back in about 10-15 minutes to play that Injustice. We're just gonna set up here. Picasso, you stay there. You send a friendly request to Stormfire. LEM will put it in the chat. STORMFYA. Send that friend request. Anybody else watching, go ahead and send that friend request over on Xbox Live. Right now, we'll pick it up. We'll be right back after a blank screen. We'll put our countdown up. How about that? There you go. All right, till next week. Well, next week I think we got some great stuff coming up too. But we'll get into that. It's still kind of in the works. I'm gonna be like American McGee on it. I can't tell you yet until it's in ink.
Nobody can know about that yet.
Yeah. So until next week, like we tell you, always, all the time, in every week, whenever possible.
Game
on.